Hey guys, Hassan here. How are you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys are staying productive, during this quarantine, wherever you are in the world. Hope you guys are not being, too destructive, self-destructive at home. Alright guys, so today I am gonna talk about a phone that's about to launch. It's gonna be an amazing phone. I already know it. So I'm just gonna share that with you guys. But before that, guys, please do subscribe to my channel. And if you like this video, please click on the like button. And even if you don't like this video, still click on the like button. That'd be great. Thanks. Anyway, so let's get started. So we have a new phone coming out called the OnePlus 8. And I don't know if you guys have heard about this company called OnePlus. It is a Chinese company that came out with a crazy phone a couple of years back called the OnePlus One, and they named it the flagship killer, and they built this huge hype around it and the way that they sold it. So it was like an invite system where, unless you actually got an invite, you weren't even able to buy the phone. So it was like this huge, deal. People were actually buying invites for the phone first for like 30, 40, $50 even, and then buying the phone as well on top of that. And the way that, and the only way that this worked was because the phone was actually a flagship killer, so it had crazy specs, but at the same time the price was like very low. So it was like, I think around like $400 after tax. So it was, and back in the day, the flagships during that time were like around $700, $800 easy. And then they were selling this phone that was, competing with all these big flagships like Samsung, and there were some other companies at the time as well, for almost half the price. So it was amazing. So now they're out with the OnePlus 8, and they kind of changed their slogan. So before it used to be never settle, but now this time the logo is lead for speed. So I think they kind of try to go with the whole need for speed, because the RAM and the hardware that they put in this phone is over the top. So they're coming out with two versions of the phone. The first version is just the simple OnePlus 8, and then the second, the more advanced version, is called the OnePlus 8 Pro. And honestly, there isn't a lot of difference, but there are a few minor changes that kind of make it worth to buy the OnePlus 8 Pro instead of the OnePlus 8. So let's go over these specs. So as you can see, I mean, this is how the OnePlus 8 Pro looks. So it has 4 camera lenses on the back, on the rear. So that's gonna be amazing. I don't know what they're trying to shoot with this, but anyways. And then the OnePlus 8 is gonna have 3 lenses, so it's not gonna have this 4th one right here. And I think this is the flash. So on the OnePlus 8, the flash is gonna be at the bottom. The colors are pretty cool, but I think they kept the, what are they calling this? The ultramarine blue. They gave that to the OnePlus 8 Pro, and they gave interstellar glow to OnePlus 8. Yeah, I think I like the ultramarine blue more. So let's look at the display. So both of the phones are gonna have a display of over 6.5 inches. Holy, that's a big phone. Almost a tab. I remember I bought a Nexus tablet back in the day, and that was called the Nexus 7, and that was actually 7 inches, the display. And now we have phones that are like almost 7 inches. But of course, these are like bezel-less displays. At that time, it was, the bezel made the tab more than 7 inches, but the screen itself was 7. Okay, so the Pro has a 6.78 inches, and then the normal version is gonna have 6.55 inches, and they're both gonna be AMOLED. Okay, yeah, so there is a difference in the resolution. The OnePlus 8 Pro has the 1440 pixels screen, while the OnePlus 8 only has the 1080p display. So that's the downside of the OnePlus 8. So the OnePlus 8 Pro has two more features than the OnePlus 8 in the display, at least. So it has adaptive display and it has motion graphics smoothing. So performance wise, both of them have the latest Snapdragon 865 processor. They're going to be running Android 10, which is the latest Android operating system. And they're both going to have 8 gigs and 12 gigs of RAM, depending on the model that you get. So they're both going to have the same amount of RAM, but the difference there is that the OnePlus 8 Pro seems to be using a DDR5 RAM, while the OnePlus 8 is going to be using an older DDR4. And then there's a difference in battery size. So OnePlus 8 Pro has a larger battery. And so it seems that, okay, so this is a feature that they added in the OnePlus 8 Pro. That's not there in the OnePlus 8. So they have added fast wireless charging onto the OnePlus 8 Pro, and they have kept that from the OnePlus 8. Oh, that's a sneaky move. Okay guys, so I'm not gonna talk too much about the cameras on the two devices, but the main lens on the rear is gonna be a 48 megapixels. They're both gonna be Sony lenses, but on the Pro it's gonna be a more modern lens as compared to the OnePlus 8. And the OnePlus 8 Pro is gonna have a telephoto lens and a color filter lens, which the OnePlus 8 won't have. So guys, so one thing I do want to talk about is the connectivity for both of these devices. So they both are capable of 5G technology, and the thing about 5G right now is that it's really not that common, in countries like, for example, in Canada or America. We don't have 5G everywhere, and it's actually not even being advertised right now by service providers that much. So for somebody to be buying a phone right now that's capable of 5G, I don't think it's really worth it, because you're paying the extra price but you're not really gonna use it, but you will have to pay a 5G tax. So that's kind of like a negative for these devices. Alright, so let's talk about the pricing for these devices. Remember I told you guys their slogan used to be never settle, and for this device they kind of moved away from that never settle slogan and they went with lead with speed. So I think one reason why they stopped with that never settle logo is because they didn't settle for the price either. Like, the price for these phones is it's pretty expensive. For example, the OnePlus 8 is actually starting at $1099, so almost $1100, and the OnePlus 8 Pro is almost $1400. So don't get me wrong, like, these devices are still cheaper than a lot of the other flagship options out there. Like, for example, the Samsung, the S20, I think the 5G model is starting at $1320 as well. But then as you go up with the S20 Ultra, and then there's another one, the prices are like well around $1,800 or something. So those devices are definitely more expensive. But the downside is that those devices like Samsung and Google, they actually get sold as part of plans with the service providers. So you kind of get a financing option. But these OnePlus devices, they don't have contracts with these service providers in Canada. So they did get into the market in the US. They have contracts with AT&T now. But in Canada, you'd have to actually buy the full device. So that would kind of be a downside, because if people don't have like around $1,300-$1,400 to shell out, they can't buy these devices because there is no financing option. So yeah, that's a downside. But nonetheless, they have created amazing devices, and they're using pretty much everything, like software, hardware, everything is latest. So yeah, it should be great. Alright guys, so that was it for this podcast. If you guys liked it, please do like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one.